All right, we are live. Welcome everyone to another episode of Khordmaster Keys. On today's episode, we have my amazingly talented musician, singer, songwriter, Twitch extraordinaire friend, Adiana Vega, on today's session. Adiana, how are you doing today?
Hey, Khordmaster, thank you so much. That's way too kind. I'm doing great. I'm happy to have the opportunity to talk to you. I guess we're going to talk music and stuff, which is something that I'm quite fond of. I'm here in
Awesome.
sunny Los Angeles, California, working on some projects. So just, yeah, feeling good today.
Love it, love it. Well, definitely happy to have you here. And I think I'm trying to think how long ago it was when I came across your content on Twitch. It probably was when I was first kind of getting back into live streaming on Twitch, when I was doing my little sort of prowling, lurking, networking, just kind of seeing what else is out there. And yeah, I came across your stream, and what amazingly warm vibes and chill. I know I use that word like a lot, like vibes and chill, but like I feel like those two are like the perfect words to describe like sort of how I feel that environment always is. And so that's why I was like, I have to like chat with you. And it's interesting too, because like today, so like I've seen you many times on your stream. You've seen me at least once or twice. I know when you've joined my streams. And so
hmm
this is like the first time now that we are sort of interacting with each other, both seeing each other at the same time, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I liked you right away when you came into my stream. I feel like, just because it's chat is basically sending messages like via text.
Hmm.
And that's my way of interacting with them. And, I'm speaking back to them. Like it's still, the friendships are very real. The sense of community is so real. And like, people put their individual character and uniqueness and stuff out there.
Hmm.
So I thought you were funny and clever and obviously like I came to find later tuning into your stream that you're very proficient and very talented and skilled.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, I'm really glad to know you and just thanks for saying that the vibes are so good. Again, that's really the community. Honestly, I got so incredibly lucky with such a special group of people that are so open to one another and vulnerable and loving and they just love music. So what a
Hmm.
great way to bond.
That's spot on. We're going to talk about this a little bit more later, but I feel compelled to kind of share right now. I think I'm pretty sure I messaged you about it when we were setting up this conversation. But when you had your milestone celebration, which was your 1 year, I believe, a couple of days ago, I made, of course, every effort to kind of hop in and kind of see what's going on and stuff. And
Thank
man,
you.
if I was, of course, if I wasn't so moved, incredibly moved, so much so that it's going to bring me to tears on my own show. Just kidding, but
Oh,
almost, because I am kind of sometimes an emotional person. Um,
that's
but
great.
that story or the song that you wrote and the way you sang it, the song that was sort of a song for your fans, for your friends, for your community, that really, really, really moved me because like writing those lyrics, they were meaningful. You sang it so well, and I know just based on the emojis and the reaction to it that I had, as well as your people that were viewing. It was one of those things that I think is like super appreciative, right? Writing a song for your viewers is amazing. I mean, we I think people know the value that they have and the importance that they hold, sort of from your perspective, knowing that without an audience, like where would a musician sort of be without people that can support them and stuff. But having
Yeah.
that done was just incredible. So I just wanted to like start off with that and just share how much it moved me.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I meant every word of it. The love, every word in the song I meant. The love there is very, very real.
Mm-hmm.
And I started streaming during lockdown because we were all isolated,
Mm.
and I missed just that special universal language and that way of connecting when
Yeah.
you're performing. It's just a way to reach people's souls without really before you even have like a conversation,
Yeah.
which is really, really cool. So yeah, when we went into lockdown, I just really missed that and missed people. And so it kind of became my window to the world. And I wasn't expecting anything like what's happened over the last year, just like meeting so many special people that I think about every single day, you know,
Mm,
and I feel like I'm so a part of their lives and they're so a part of mine. And 3 times a week, we share all kinds of feelings and laughs, and every stream is different. Sometimes we cry, sometimes it's like emotional, you know,
mm,
because we're all very, like, they're so dynamic. They're such dynamic people. And so I get to just like feed into that energy 3 times a week. And it's so often cathartic or
mm.
therapeutic or whatever it is that we need. It's just wonderful. So I'm so grateful. And the least I could do is write a song like conveying those feelings
Hmm.
to those people that have become so dear to me, you know?
Yeah, man, that's yeah, that's spot on. I think that when I visit other streamers, as well as other people that may not stream but are building a brand for themselves, putting themselves out there, doing something that they're passionate about. One of the things that always stands out to me and jumps out to me, and maybe others, is the sense of authenticity. And I know that like when I've joined, I think we all, maybe most of us, want to say that we're authentic and want to, give off that sort of impression that we are. But I do believe that that is somewhat detectable, whether or not someone is or is not. And so there was like a few things that I recall, you sort of mentioning in your streams. One of them, I think very early on when I joined, and I may have asked you the question or someone else did, but it was something about the path to partner. And it
Hmm.
was something about like, I think you mentioned how you, at a time, you were kind of not fixated, but you were really like steadfast in that goal. Like you wanted to get to that point, and so you were trying to like make sure that everything you do on the stream is maybe professional, or you're not. I'll mention it because you talk about it in your stream, so clearly it's the thing. But like I think you mentioned something
Yeah.
about like burping and stuff like that. Like now it's just like whatever. Like this is a normal thing. It's no big deal. This is what we all do, kind of thing. And you really put yourself out there and just be yourself is the impression that I get. Sometimes you have stuff that's related to music, and then sometimes I think I joined the other day around Halloween when you had some type of ASMR vampire thing going on, and it was like clearly you're interested in that, right? And you're just like, hey, I'm gonna like do what I enjoy doing, and for people that enjoy it as well, you can vibe with me. If not, then I'll see you on the next stream when I'm doing more music or whatever. And I think that is beautiful and amazing, and I think important for the longevity, I would imagine, of continuing to do this, right?
Thanks. Yeah, that's very thoughtful of you to say. It's funny that you bring that up because, yeah, I totally was absolutely fixated is the right word. I
Mm,
was fixated on getting partner, and I'm going to be real with you, Chordmaster. It's because I had bought into that rumor. I guess there's like a misunderstanding that if you make partner, then you get a bigger share of the subs. Like you get 70% as opposed to 50% of the
okay.
subs, which, I obviously that's a lot more, but that's not even true.
Mm,
Um, and so, yeah, I was kind of just like, sort of putting myself on eggshells, like trying to be professional and like more like appealing to a wider audience, So I stopped like burping on my stream or like stopped having like sparkling soda on my stream or whatever because I was like, oh, I don't want to burp. Like I was overthinking everything too much because it became important to
mm,
me to become partner. And then it just stopped being
mm-hmm,
fun because I was so focused on that. And just like these people have never been numbers to
mm-hmm,
me. That's not why I started this. In fact, when I'm streaming, I have my viewer count turned
mm-hmm.
off. Like, I don't want to know. I don't want to
Yeah.
see it. And that was the only time that I ever had it turned on because I was so close to getting partner. That's why I started fixating on it because I was so close. And so I turned my viewer count on. I started feeling like crummy about myself if one stream didn't go great because you can't have like a monumental show every
Yeah.
time. That's just not the way
Yeah.
life is. Sometimes you end up like talking more and like just vibing with
Yeah.
people. And so it just stopped being fun. And I started burning myself out and was like, you know what? Like, fuck this. Sorry, am I
You
allowed to
can.
swear? I
It's
didn't.
cool. Yeah.
Screw this. It's like, screw this. Like, I want this to be fun again. And just like, I want to hang out with my friends again. Like, feel like I'm just hanging out and living room vibes, playing music, chatting with people is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, if partner happens, it happens. But if it doesn't, like, that's fine too. I didn't get into it
Mm-hmm.
for that. When I got into this, I didn't even know what
Mm-hmm.
partner was. I barely knew what Twitch was. I got into this to connect with people and play music. And, the fact that I've been able to start making a living off of Twitch is phenomenal and not something that I
Yeah.
expected, but it's also not what I want to focus on going forward. I want to maintain the priority that I had getting into
Yeah.
this because it's an incredible blessing. It really is.
Being able to do something that you enjoy doing and knowing, having the confirmation, constant confirmation 3 times a week, in your case, that what you are doing is a part of people's lives. Like they kind of schedule things around it. They know that it's this day, it's this time. This is Adi's time. I'm sorry, I can't make it to happy hour. I'm gonna be here watching. You know what I'm saying? And that's like it is. You're absolutely right. Whenever we sit down and like look at, and I shared this story earlier with a fellow Twitch streamer, who I was chatting with, just about having the ability to do what it is that we're doing now based on technology, which is have a intimate concert where you are able to perform, you are able to do whatever you want to do, perform, talk, vampire ASMR. You can do whatever you want and just vibe out with people. And you can do it in the comfort of your home, and you put your own production on, and you can see, you connect with people the way that you mentioned. It is something that 20 years ago, as I was sharing a story about how, as a producer, when I had, an older version of something like this keyboard sitting in front of me here, living at my parents' house and making music and like being like, wow, this is sounding pretty cool, or this is sounding pretty interesting. I wish there was a way for people who are interested in this type of thing, which was not my brother and it was not my sister at the time, right? I can't like call them in and be like, yo, Dwayne, Dale, come check this out. Like oftentimes they would, try to like give me crap or whatever, saying like, oh, this doesn't sound good, even though they knew it sounded good. But that's what siblings are going to do, right?
Siblings,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's the name of the game. But now fast forward, now we can do that. Now people who are interested in seeing a creative mind, a singer, songwriter, a producer, a pianist, like even things such as like watching people learn something new, like the live learn thing, which I know that there's a place that people love that. When I was streaming on Reddit a while ago, I remember some of the comments that I would get when I was doing what is considered a live learn, even though I didn't know at the time that was a thing. But people sometimes would put a request in, and I'll look up the song and try to play by ear, or look up like the actual sheet music and like try to learn it live. And I'm not even like paying attention to the chat at this moment. I'm like, all right, let me take 5-10 minutes, like look at this, and people's comments afterwards, like, you have no idea how enjoyable this is to see you like staring at that and figuring it
Process,
out.
yeah.
And that spoke to me immensely, because I'm like, oh, well, I didn't know that was a thing, that people really enjoyed. And so it's a learning process, and it's a beautiful, awesome thing that you're able to do what you love to do, and kind of, chart your own path, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. How
Definitely
long have
dope.
you been streaming on Twitch? It hasn't been long, right?
It hasn't been long. It's been about, like, seriously, maybe about 2 or 3 weeks now. Prior to that, I had a Twitch account. The story for me goes, I started on Twitch for a little while, maybe about 5 months ago, and then I became an affiliate, and then I was doing that for a little while, and then I realized that because my home base was on YouTube, and I was hearing chatter about how Twitch versus YouTube live streaming, which is going to be the king of live streaming over time and all that stuff. Some people, right, were saying YouTube is going to be here longer, right? That was like a thought. That was some people's opinion. So I was like, all right, well, I can't multi-stream being an affiliate. So I'm going to revert back to non-affiliate, stream on Twitch as a non-affiliate and YouTube simultaneously, and just kind of see how the whole thing goes. Did that for a little while, but then ultimately decided that, like, Twitch is, first of all, it's extremely difficult to find live streaming music on YouTube, from my experience. You search for live music on YouTube, you're going to get a live performance recorded 3 months ago or something like that. You're not going to see like this influx of performers like doing what people are doing on Twitch. So that was one thing that jumped out at me. And then the other thing was, there's so much talent, and Twitch is the premier destination right now for anything related to live music. Like, there's no sort of debating that. Whether it will be around longer than other platforms, who knows? No one knows what the future is going to hold. So that's when I decided to double down and say, let me go back to affiliate status on Twitch. Let me take that a little bit more serious. And that was about 3 weeks ago now, where I have like the schedule And the thing you mentioned earlier,
Good for you.
thank you. I'm very, very, very excited about it, because I love live streaming. I love interacting with people, and I love having this setup that I kind of meticulously, set up in a certain way that I'm looking at. I'm like, I got the light there, I got everything kind of situated the way that I like it. And you mentioned a
Hmm.
great point earlier just about the view count. Because when I first started, certainly I was looking at the viewers a lot more, like all the time during the stream, to see who comes in, who doesn't. Fast forward a few months, once
Hmm.
I've had a chance to reflect and learn about what some best practices are, that was a tip that someone shared with me: turn the view count off and go into every stream.
Hmm.
If you can, try to go into everyone with the right attitude and with the mindset of not trying to perform your best or be your best or do whatever once you see people that are there. So I go into these now, view count off, and I'm just talking to no one when I first start the stream. No big deal. I'm just like vibing out, talking. Some people will come in, maybe sometimes not many people come in, but I still kind of have like that time to myself to say, I'm still doing music stuff and I'm still enjoying it. I'm creating the content. I'm getting more exposure, more experience, and I'm enjoying it so far for sure. And I see I think I see the path forward, connecting with people like you, and knowing the importance of networking as well, joining other streamers, vibing with them, and all
Hmm.
that stuff. So it's been an interesting journey so far, but definitely one that I'm looking forward to seeing, like, what the next few steps are going to kind of turn out to be.
Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it so much. And I hope you keep doing it because you're great
Thank
at
you.
it. And it's, like you said, really nice to make these connections with like musicians. That's another thing that I didn't really expect at all from streaming on Twitch, is like making all these friends who also stream
Oh
music
yes.
and do like, they're so versatile. There's so many different kinds of music streamers. So that's been really cool, just making those connections, like you said.
Oh yeah, spot on. I mean, you have, yeah, not solely the keyboard and guitarist, but you come across like harpists and these other, and like someone on I think I don't know which kind of brass instrument it was, but you have things like that you don't see every day,
Hmm.
and that stuff stands out to me so
Yeah.
much. Just yeah, those unique kind of experiences.
Hmm.
So I want to jump back to your sort of upbringing. I want to learn a little bit about young Adi, what you were like growing up, where'd you grow up, that kind of thing.
Well, I was born in El Paso and partially raised there, and then we moved to Dallas. So I'm a Texas girl
Nice.
and a big mommy's girl. I'm extremely close with my mom. I always have been. I have
Hmm.
siblings that I'm very close with. And I was very like, I was a spunky kid. I was in trouble a lot, very impulsive, and just curious and, again, impulsive. So my curiosity would get the
Hmm.
best of me. And I just remember being constantly asked when I was a kid by my teachers, my principal, my elementary principal, I would sit in her office. It got to the point where I had lunch in her office every day because I couldn't be trusted in the cafeteria because I always did
Oh
something
wow.
crazy. And we became tight, me and the principal, because we spent so much time together. But I
BFFs.
remember being told by parents, teachers, whatever, why did you do that? Like all the time, why did you do that? Why did you do X? Why did you do this? And my answer would always be, I don't know, like usually through tears. I don't know. I just see things,
Uh-huh.
I want to do them, and I don't think about it, and I just go for it, you know? So
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
growing up, that was kind of a problem because it usually wasn't like very productive outlets.
Sure.
And then, when I got a little older, I definitely fell into a lot of just dangerous vices and bad group of people who fed into those afflictions and had to work through that. I definitely like had a lot of self-inflicted trials that I had to overcome, just because
Mm-hmm.
of like the extreme personality that I am. But I think that now it's something that is a strength. It's something that I've been able to kind of like harness and get
Mm-hmm.
control over and use it as a strength because I'm not really afraid of things. I am interested in all kinds of different parts of life and walks of
Mm-hmm.
life. So it's just it's nice to just live vivaciously, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
That makes a lot of
I was
sense.
a crazy kid for sure. To answer your question, I was like out of control.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wait, so when you were younger, did you either show signs of, or did you have an opportunity to do music related things like when you were living in Texas before going to California?
Yeah, I kind of always did. My
Mm-hmm.
grandma and my mom heard me singing when I was like 6 or something, and they said, "Wow, she's like right on pitch." So my mom, there was this girl that lived in my neighborhood. Her name was Stevie, and I think she was 14.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mom knew that she sang, and asked her if she could start giving me singing lessons. And so I started taking
Wow.
singing lessons from my neighbor and just
Wow.
loved it, thought it was the coolest thing. But then for years, I kind of sang like whatever songs my mom picked, which was like, you know, Bette Midler, that sort of thing, which Bette Midler is great, but not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily like, my voice, my sound.
Mm-hmm.
So later, when I got a little older, I started choosing my own songs that I wanted to play and then started writing my own songs. Well, actually, I started writing really little, but I never imagined that I could sing my own songs. So then when I got a little older, I started singing my own songs and just felt
Mm-hmm.
very like emotionally dedicated to them, emotionally attached to them. And that's when it like really became something that I took very seriously, was when I started performing my own material, writing and performing my own material, and seeing that it had like an effect on people, that people
Mm.
understood what it was that I was trying to write. Because I
Yeah.
wasn't always great at communicating like verbally, when I was younger, I was so like energetic and just kind of bouncing off the walls, and was kind of like picked on by a lot of kids because I was definitely quirky and extremely eccentric and would wear weird things and do weird
Hmm.
things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't really know how to talk to them, and that just got worse and worse the longer it went on. So I wouldn't even be able to talk to the other kids, and when I was really little, I would like bite them if I liked them,
Oh
because I
wow.
didn't know
Uh-huh.
how to express myself.
Sure, sure.
So when I started writing and playing music, that's when I felt the most comfortable with myself and the most kind of natural and in my element in terms of like, socializing and connecting
Yeah.
with people. So
Wow. Wait,
I
so
don't bite anymore, by the way. Don't
I
worry, I
was
won't bite
I
you.
was gonna ask that, like, when was the last time that actually happened? But it sounded like that it sounded like that was a thing from many, many moons ago.
Yeah, it was like fourth grade probably
Yeah.
was when I stopped doing
You're like,
that. But
yeah, 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 I stopped about 3 weeks ago, so it's been a while.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the things. That's one of the things that I remember. Like one of the moms of one of the boys that I had a crush on and didn't know how to express myself, so I bit
Mm-hmm.
him. I bit
Mm-hmm.
the boy.
Yeah.
She called my mom. His mom called my mom and said, "Why does she do this? If they were in preschool, I would get it, but they're
Mm-hmm.
in fourth grade. Why did
Mm-hmm.
she bite him?" And my mom was like, "I'm really sorry. I don't know what to tell you." It's just
Yeah.
one of those times where I was like, "I don't know. I don't know
Right.
why I did it."
There's not a reason that I can give you. I can apologize and that's keep it moving, right?
Yeah.
Man. So let's talk about this the songwriting process a little bit, like sort of as a non-songwriter yet. I was talking to someone about like when I produce music, when I make music, I'm like, oh man, this type of flow, whether it's like a rapping thing or this type of song, if it's a singing thing, would sound amazing on this. So I often more recently find myself doing like sort of reference track kind of things, freestyling, rapping, or singing, even though I can't think of like words on the fly at all. I'm a terrible freestyler, horrible. Ask my wife; she will be the first to tell you, because it's oftentimes like a rhythmic thing without actually saying any words, like sounds and stuff like that,
Hmm.
right? But I discovered the other day that it's like a discovery that every person who's a musician, a singer songwriter probably knows already. But I discovered it, so I feel like it's like something monumental for me, which is that when I am when I'm feeling compelled to sing something or freestyle in some way, thinking about the fact that what I'm singing or saying has to rhyme is what makes the idea of coming up with stuff on the fly extremely difficult or nearly impossible for me. However,
Hmm.
as I was listening to some music the other day, I'm listening. I think it was the name will come to me which artist it was. I think it was Thundercat, the bass guitarist who also sings. I think that's who it was. I was listening to one of his songs, and I was like, "This is a dope song. I love the beat." And he's singing, but none of his words are rhyming. But the
Hmm.
way he's singing is kind of like, harmonizing in a way with the actual song, the actual melody. And I'm like, oh, so you could like basically sing and like be telling a story and just like be talking to people, but like in a singing voice. And as long as it doesn't need to rhyme, as long as it's like sounds good with the composition that you're playing is, it can sound pretty cool. And so I started experimenting with that, and that's kind of one of the things that just made it so fun, especially like during a live stream when people join and you have a new person there following, and like you're in the moment and you just like incorporate their name in and they feel like super special
Yeah.
and stuff like that. That's
Uh-huh.
something that I've been. I think you did that. I'm pretty sure you did. And there's like at least one other person where I joined, and I think you were doing. This is a while ago when I first started joining your streams. You were doing like something like that, like a live performance, impromptu kind of thing. And I think I
Hmm.
messaged, put a chat in there, and then you started incorporating me in the song, and that's like, that's pretty amazing stuff. Like it makes the person feel special,
Thanks.
and it's super. Yeah, you're welcome. It is really like a warm thing. So I want to talk about your sort of songwriting process a little bit, like sort of without me asking a specific question, if you like how deep or how high you want to go into it, but like sort of your process for writing a song, like how does that go for you generally?
Well, first of all, I think it's really cool that you're hitting your stride with improv, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of
Nice.
that. That sounds really
Now
cool.
I'm nervous. Now I'm nervous, but okay. No.
Don't be. I
Okay.
mean, you're great. I'm sure it's great. Like you sometimes you just got to get out of your own way,
Yeah,
out of your own head.
definitely.
And that's all it takes. I love improvising. It's like one of my favorite things, if not my absolute favorite thing
Wow.
to do on stream. Like sometimes it'll be lyrical, and sometimes like the stream that I did last night with my friend Nick, we were just like laughing and coming up with a ridiculous song, and we asked chat to give us a subject, and
Oh,
somebody said my red balloon floated like flew away or
wow.
something. And so we did a whole song, and we were like incorporating lines that chat was feeding us, and then we would make up some of them, and it was just a mess, and it was
Love
awesome,
it.
and everyone was having a great time, and everyone was a part of it. So it was really that just like makes my spirit feel
Yeah.
like so free and excitable. I'm much more intense when it comes to like actual structured writing. And I actually do tend to overthink things, which is why live streaming is ideal for me, because I don't have time to overthink things because it's all on the
Yeah.
fly, and because I'm also playing off of the people that are there, so it's like almost like kind of a deflection. Like it's not all on me because, I can talk to Atomic Elbow or like Crazy
Yeah.
Hawaiian or somebody,
Shout out.
and
Yeah.
yeah, they know I love them.
Right.
So, it's just when I'm writing, when I'm actually writing a song, sometimes the ones that I love the most, I don't even finish them because I'm terrified to ruin them.
Mm.
So I have like a couple that I'm still sitting on that are already my favorites, and I haven't finished because I just like I want to do it right, and that's so not the way life works. Um, but it really depends on the song and the phase of my life too. Like I've written so many songs in the past 2 years, and not all of them have made it on my stream, or some of them are just gotta put them out there. Some of them are really, they're also very wide ranging in terms of style, like genre, but also subject matter. Some of them are like
Wow.
bleak, some of them are
Yeah.
dark and about like the deepest trauma of my life, and and they're not like, they're very blunt
Mm.
too in terms of delivery. Like it's not necessarily even an abstraction of these stories. Like they're very
Yeah.
blunt. So like some of those I haven't necessarily shared just because they're so unsettling. But most of the songs that I've played on my stream, like the original songs, are more of like the lighthearted, like loving songs. I mean, it's just artistry is such a free flowing experience. I mean, at some point, I'll probably incorporate some of these other songs and put them out there in some, to some
Mm-hmm.
degree. But yeah, I don't know. I know that's kind of a non-answer, but I guess there is no real process. Funny enough, I drive a lot, like all over the
Oh
country,
wow.
with my dog at my side, and it's just
Mm,
us. And that's my best songwriting time. That's the only consistency that I have in my songwriting process is being in the car for hours and hours and hours on end, and just I have ADHD medication that I never take except for when I'm on long drives because if I don't, then it's just dangerous for
mm,
everybody. So I take them
mm-hmm,
then, and then I just speak notes into my
mm,
phone. I don't like
sure,
type and drive, I
sure.
promise, but I like speak the notes into my phone or into voice memos, and I'll like come up with entire songs in one sitting while I'm just staring at the open road ahead
Mm,
of me. Probably because there's just like nothing to distract me. I'm completely and utterly
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
alone. And I never listen. I always mean to, like, I'll download albums and like podcasts and like audiobooks and stuff to listen to on these very, very long drives. And then I'll end up just sitting in silence, like with my
Mm,
thoughts, speaking them
wow.
into my phone. So that's my best. That's like my only consistency with songwriting is that that's the best time for me to do it. And that's when I'm most
Mm-hmm.
productive too, probably because there's no
Or,
distractions. And then the Vyvanse helps, I think,
mm-hmm.
but
That, yeah.
I don't like to
Yeah.
take it otherwise.
Yeah, okay, okay. So yeah, less distractions because there's less things that you can be doing aside from the stuff you mentioned, listening to music or podcasts or something. Whereas when you're home, like you got
Hmm.
everything else, video games, and you have all kind of stuff, house chores or whatever that you may be distracted and thinking about doing. What kind of trips?
Everything. I get distracted by
Oh, oh
everything.
yeah,
So
100%. What kind of trips do you do? Like, do you travel around for work, or is this like going to like different shows or gigs or something? Or
well, I mean, during lockdown, I wasn't going anywhere, of course. It was only after I got
hmm
vaccinated that I started traveling around because I just couldn't wait to get back
yeah,
out there again. And so I drove, like, packed up my stream rig in my car. And at the time, I thought, oh, I can just stream from the road. This is great. I don't have, like, a 9 to 5 job right now where I have to be
yeah,
somewhere physically. So I can just pack up my stream rig and take it anywhere and just stream from anywhere. That's since turned out to be much more of a challenge than I thought it was going to be. It's actually pretty hard to
hmm
stream from the road, but I'm determined to do it. And I've gone up the East Coast and just like saw New
oh wow,
Orleans and went to just like open mics and live shows for the first time in over a year and just loved it. Then went to Atlanta and saw some close friends and collaborated
nice,
and live shows and stuff. And then went up to DC and New York City. And now I'm on the West Coast. My home base right now
okay,
is Dallas because I just have like all my stuff in my mom's garage. She's kind enough to just like let me make that my
hmm
base right now while I just kind of go where I please. So now I'm on the West Coast. I'm in Los
wow,
Angeles and have been, meeting up with fellow streamers and doing collabs and writing and trying to work on producing content and getting it out there. So,
yeah, that's really cool. I mean, having the opportunity to do that, I think, is dope, and then also being in different, yeah, geographic locations in terms of your in terms of like being in a different environment for inspiration and things like that, I'm sure is incredible, like incredible
oh,
part of
yeah.
the whole process, right?
Yeah, I thrive off of just, what's the word I'm looking for? Just making sure like when things aren't monotonous,
Mm,
that's when I thrive. When things are different every day, that's when I feel the most tantalized by just
yeah,
being alive and wanting to participate in everything and come up with new ideas and
yeah.
it's just
No, that
fun.
makes total sense. Makes total sense. A lot of the stuff that I do musically now, I have a sitting right off camera there. A lot of like portable equipment, whether it's my iPad Mini or other iPad. I'm blessed to own two iPads. Why do I have two iPads? I don't know, but I do. Or like some of this other portable, like Teenage Engineering, which is a manufacturer that makes like boutique music, portable music equipment that you can like make professional sounding stuff, battery powered, super inspiring and stuff. But like bringing these things outside to parks or to coffee
Hmm.
shops or things like that has been my thing lately. Just to be able to get out of the same environment, and it works wonders in terms of just different levels of creativity, which
Hmm.
I'm definitely enjoying. So I'm going to ask a question about. We're going to talk about Twitch for a moment. I was thinking about how I wanted to frame the question up, but instead of like asking specific question, I'm just going to like throw it out there for you to like talk to anyone who's like listening who is a new streamer or considering becoming a streamer.
Hmm.
And if there's like, I guess, anything that you can share, whether it's something that you think or know to be common knowledge or not, but just like some tips and tricks, if you will, for people. It could be a stream of consciousness. Like, what are some things that you would say, oh, these are some things to keep in mind as you're kind of beginning your Twitch journey?
Mm, I would think that first and foremost, I would say just get started. Like, you're never going to be, things are never going to be perfect. Like, the condition will never be perfect. It's definitely intimidating to just start, especially because, when you get started, you're not really playing to anybody. It's,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of people, or you sit at zero for a while. But just get started and make it something that you do because you enjoy it and not because you're expecting anything out of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, like when I started, I didn't even have a microphone. It was just something that I did because I was so goddamn lonely. I just put my computer on top of my piano and just streamed from like twitch.com or
Mm-hmm.
something. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
even have broadcasting software or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have a microphone, didn't have a camera, didn't have anything. Just started streaming. And that was the beginning. And from there, like it seems like a lot. It really does seem intimidating when you're first getting into it, especially if you aren't familiar with Twitch. Like I wasn't familiar. It does seem like a lot to learn, but you learn as you go. And
Mm-hmm.
Twitch is such a great, like having a community in Twitch is so great because you get to learn from people as you go. Like you meet fellow streamers
Yeah.
as you keep doing it, and you meet people in chat who are always willing to help
Mm.
and work through things with you. People get very dedicated when they make these connections.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be the first and foremost thing that I would say is just get started. Like just start and make it something fun that you're doing for you. And when people join you, whenever they do join you, then great. Then it's for you and for them. And
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to worry about who's not there.
Yeah.
And then otherwise, I don't know if I have any advice after that. I think it would just be like make it whatever you want it to be. Like be your authentic self,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not going to please everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You will get trolls, you will get people that don't understand you and decide that they don't like you, and completely misunderstand what you're putting out there. But then the people who rock with you will really rock with you,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll keep coming back. Like authenticity gauges retention. Like you get retention for being your true self because then you make an authentic, not to keep using this word, but connection.
Yeah.
Then it's more real, and then those people, the relationship is more real because it's rooted in truth.
Yeah.
So just be who you are, even if it's different from your favorite streamer or what everybody else is doing. And just never stop having fun with it because this is what art is about. It's about truth, and it's about, yeah, it's just about truth
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So
Love that. Knowing that you can. So that, yeah. First of all, thank you for that. Knowing that you have the ability, as I mentioned kind of earlier, to do something that you love and also positively impact and affect people's lives who come across your stream and who rock with you for a few consecutive streams, and you start seeing those familiar names and stuff and start learning a
yeah.
little bit about their backstory. I think that's really really incredible. And I think the point you made earlier about like the support, the level of support, the fact that there are some people out there who aren't streamers themselves but who love watching streamers, participating, connecting
Yeah.
with others, helping, as I've learned, in terms of the patience that people have, shared with me and graciously,
Yeah.
helped and things like that. It is a really warm thing that I've experienced so far in my short time span. One of the things that someone mentioned earlier that really resonated with me, I was talking about like the difference of or the importance of having a schedule. And I understand that 9.9 out of 10 people who are successful streamers, air quotes, because obviously that level of success or the meaning of success depends on, how you define it. But like, I know people say that, definitely having a schedule so that people know when to expect you. And I was thinking prior to that, I was like, I'm blessed right now where I have the ability to schedule, whatever I want. I have Tuesdays and Wednesdays from like 3 p.m. to like 9:30, 10 o'clock now actually, are my other side of what I do, which is my tutoring and mentoring business, where I tutor math remotely and teach piano lessons, which I love doing. Again, so dope that I have the ability to impact and doing other things that I love doing, teaching and connecting with students.
Yeah.
Other than that, I have like an open slate. I can stream every day if I wanted to. Other than those days, I can stream earlier in the day. So it's like very, very much open. And I was like, all right, let me get like a 3 day a week kind of thing going on. So right now I settled on Sunday nights 9 p.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays 12 p.m. all Eastern time. I said, let me start with that. Let me see how that kind of works out. And then I kind of thought to myself, like, there can be and there probably will be times where I don't feel creative or motivated, or like I just don't feel like streaming in one of those 3 time slots. And then conversely, there can be
Hmm.
times outside of those time slots where I'm like, coming home from somewhere, I'm like, oh, I feel energetic. I feel creative. I just want to rock out right now, even though it's not a scheduled stream time. And I'm like,
Hmm.
how do I sort of accept and understand those two situations and kind of make it work for my situation here. And I wanted to know from you if you kind of think that instead of maybe having 3 days a week scheduled, perhaps having 2 days a week scheduled, where maybe it's a Sunday and a Thursday or something, and then having at least one, maybe more, depending on how the week goes, but like random streams, and then setting up the Discord, having, the way to communicate with people and stuff like that to let them know maybe an hour before, or even that earlier that day. But like kind of getting the best of both worlds, where you guys can expect me these 2 days, and also, oh, look, it's, some random time during the week. You can also see me right now, and this is like more spontaneous type of a thing. Good strategy, something that you
Hmm.
would maybe recommend?
Well, good strategy for, I mean, what's the goal? Like, if the goal is to get more people, like, you'll probably meet more people the more you stream. Like, you'll get more followers, and just meet more people the more you stream. But I don't know, like, if you're looking for, like, you know, regular engagement, um, and if Twitch is like a focus, then a schedule is definitely good, like a consistent
Mm-hmm.
schedule with occasional sporadic streams is
Mm-hmm.
cool. But I think that the engagement is typically lower with sporadic streams just because people didn't expect you and didn't
Mm-hmm.
plan for it. But I mean, it,
Mm-hmm.
it's fun. Like, do whatever
Feels
you want to
right.
do.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure, yeah, and you'll definitely meet more people the more you
Yeah.
stream. So even if you don't have as many people there, maybe you'll meet somebody who is awesome and will come
Yeah.
back for the next stream or a couple weeks from now or
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, do what you want to do, you know?
Try it out and don't necessarily overthink. Try things, iterate, and then, like you said, see what works for you. If I find value in being able to do the occasional stream when I'm just feeling creative and it's not on my schedule, there's
Hmm.
no reason necessarily why I have to think, oh, this is not a scheduled time. I should try to harness this creativity and excitement until tomorrow at 12 o'clock and then do it then or something like that.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I just want to say, like, I feel like this ties into your question just before this,
Mm-hmm.
like advice for streamers in general. It's like, even if you don't have a schedule, that's just, there's always going to be a reason why the conditions aren't good to start streaming. And one of
Mm-hmm.
them, I feel like, is that people feel like, oh, I can't have a consistent schedule right now. And I understand that's really important to, like, have a consistent audience.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, just get started. Even if you don't have a schedule, there's always, if you're not polished, whatever. It's the most important thing is just whoever does show up, whoever's there, just show interest in them
Mm-hmm.
and, just be yourself. Like, it sounds corny, but it's true. Like, be yourself and show genuine interest in them and their lives, and they'll feel seen and
Yeah.
they'll recognize that your space is somewhere where they feel good and important and they get to vibe out to music. So they'll probably come back.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, so this is what we're gonna do next. This is the part that I really enjoy. Not to say I didn't enjoy the previous part, which I definitely did. But I think that like your audience, people who know you from your streams, I think it'll be cool to kind of allow them as they watch this part of the segment to kind of get to know you, possibly things that they don't know about you.
Cool.
So
I'm down.
let's start with you naming a show and a movie that you love.
Oh boy. Um, so I'm really bad with like movies and shows and stuff. There's so many that I haven't seen. I have a list on my phone that's like this long of movies and shows that my friends
Yeah,
have
that you're
recommended to
meaning
me.
to watch.
Yeah. I mean, a movie that I love, uh, a show that I love, Breaking Bad comes to mind.
Okay,
I
classic.
loved Breaking Bad. The Good Place actually was
Uh-huh.
the last like series that I watched, and
Yeah,
that one really stayed with me without giving anything away in case people haven't seen it. I mean, it's just
yeah.
like a very I love the way it was written because it's like got like a pinge of I don't know if that's a word, pinge. Let's pretend it is.
I'll
Pinge
accept it.
of I think it is.
Yeah,
It's like a
yeah.
pinge of satire, but it's mostly like so deeply like heartfelt and it's just like it approaches the concept of death and existentialism and
Mm,
just the characters are so well developed, the writing is so like quippy and just sharp and funny and the storyline is crazy, so many twists and turns. It's like
mm-hmm.
the most out of the box show that I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like it. I'll never see anything like it again. It's incredibly original. And, I'm also like, I think about death a lot, honestly, and
Mm,
just, I'm not a religious person. And so I fear death and I fear, like, losing people that I love and not being able to protect them or save them from that. I know that took a dark turn, but like that's kind of the point is that this show, like I just really appreciated the approach to such a heavy
mm,
concept that I think about a lot and just the way these characters, these very different characters navigate just that abstract like state of being or lack thereof.
yeah.
It was just like it was really profound and done in such a entertaining way. Like it's not heavy-handed watching. It's easy to watch, and yet it's this profound subject. So, and then for a movie, I feel like for me, movies are more about. I love films. I love costumes. I love like playing the way different directors play with shots and colors and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And then the music is, of course, like a huge part of it for me. I can't think of anything in particular. I mean,
Hmm.
I just keep thinking Hans Zimmer. That's what I
Oh yeah.
keep thinking in my head.
Talented man.
Um,
Yep.
yeah, but I can't think of, I think it's been such a long time since I've seen a movie. I like really can't think of any.
Gotcha. Maybe they'll come back to you before the end of the episode. Who
Yeah, maybe.
who knows? Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, no, I've seen several seasons of The Good Place. I know the show is over now, right? Okay, so yeah, we for whatever reason we didn't finish it. We probably watched, or at least I didn't finish it. Maybe my wife did. But like 2 to 3 seasons. But perhaps I should go back and continue because we definitely did enjoy it. It was very, like you said, the way you described it, totally different than anything else out there. And
Yeah.
the writer from one of the writers from The Office, which is my favorite show. I forget his
The
name, Michael
Office is great.
Schur. Yeah, Office
Yeah,
is so
he
good.
also did Parks and Recreation.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
created that one,
yep.
so which
So
is another show that I love.
oh, that was so good. When I first started watching that show, I was like comparing it to The Office too much and not really appreciating it for what it was. I mean, they tried to be somewhat similar to The Office when they first started, but I remember like in the second half of the show, especially like that last season, last 2 seasons, I just remember like being kind of blown away with. I think the last season was just so fascinating because it was kind of like it was like ending, and there were so many just weird things. One of which was like one of the whole episodes was is Andy his name? Andy the I don't know the I was gonna say doofus as this character, whatever his name is, that's married to the other character who's
Janet.
is Janet her name? The
He's married to Janet, the like not a robot lady.
oh
She's a
yeah, I'm terrible
and
with
his
names.
name is he's from Jacksonville, Florida, right?
I don't know where he's
That's
from,
who
but
you're
that
talking
sounds
about?
like him. No, he's the guy who's playing Mario in the new Mario movie, and he's also
Oh, I don't
Guardians
know.
of the Galaxy. One of the main characters that was like real.
Chris Pratt?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of.
Chris Pratt isn't in The Good Place.
Oh no, oh, I'm talking about Parks and Rec now.
Parks and
I'm sorry.
Recreation.
Yes. That's
Oh,
probably
gotcha,
why I was
gotcha.
okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Um, there
gotcha.
was an episode where the whole episode in the last season was his like show, his kids show, if you remember.
Uh-huh.
And I just thought I was just like, this is mad cool. It's mad random. Like the whole episode was like a spin-off
So
thing.
random.
Yeah, it was exactly. I was like, this is weird, but I'm vibing with it. So that's definitely a good one.
Yeah, that's a good example of somebody who, like Michael Schur, has been so successful, but he's a great example of like kind of to call back to what we were talking about earlier, just kind of does whatever he vibes
Uh
with.
huh.
And he just goes where he wants to go and does what he wants to do with his art.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. It's cool that he's been so successful, but you can tell that he's not trying to like subscribe to any sort of formula or anything like
That's
that,
for sure.
any commercial formula. He's good.
And the fact that he
Great.
played Mose on The Office, the weird cousin of Dwight, is
Yeah,
hilarious to me. So,
it's so funny.
yeah,
It's so funny.
yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the scene when he first was introduced. I believe when Jim and Pam were visiting, we're doing the bed and breakfast at the.
And he runs by the
yes,
car.
and then just like veers off. Yeah, I'm just.
Dude, that is the hardest I laughed in the
Yeah,
entire series of The Office was him running by the car. And Pam is going, oh my God,
yeah.
oh my
How do
God.
you react to that? What
So
is that?
funny.
Why are you sprinting right now and then just veering off? Very, very weird.
It's so
Yeah,
funny.
he's hilarious. All right. So next
Yeah.
question is, if you have a chance to, should I ask it the same way or different? I'll ask it the same way. You have a chance to have brunch with someone, and you have a chance to have dinner with someone. Sometimes people think of dinner a little bit more civilized, brunch a little bit more turn up, mimosas, whatever. You can think of it however you want, but you have a chance to like have that with two different people, presumably. Who would you love to have each of those with? And originally, the question is asked across the span of time. Some people, that's a little too hard. It's like too many people, but I'll ask it that way. It can be someone living. It could be someone that's lived before, like whoever you would love to vibe out with in those settings.
I think I would want to do lunch with, oh God, it's such a tough choice. Either Amy Winehouse, who's one
Ooh.
of my favorite artists of all
Mm.
time, incredible writer, just very, very unique performer and voice, and just like everything about her is once in, I can't even say a lifetime, once in just a earth. Like
Yeah, we're not
she's
going to
never
see
going to
another
happen
one.
again. She's never going to
That's
happen
for
again.
sure.
I would love to talk to her. But also Ella Fitzgerald is my favorite singer of all
Okay.
time, and she taught me so
Mm.
much listening to her records, and listening to her freestyle scatting is how I learned to do
Wow.
it. She taught me to expand my mind and just kind of like not be afraid to toy with my toolbox and just try different things and you know get crazy with it, and just copying her vocal riffs. Originally, I would listen and then I would copy her vocal riffs, and then somehow that kind of taught me to do it
Mm.
myself, which is, we were talking about
Sure.
improvisation earlier, and I was saying some of it is lyrical, but oftentimes I'll just be doing jazz scats.
Mm.
And I learned that from her, and that's like one of the times, if not the time, that I feel the best in my skin.
Hmm.
Just like the most the most alive. Like my skin feels warm when I'm doing
Wow.
that. I don't even know how to describe it. It's such a good feeling. It's like floating in
Yeah.
space. So I have her to thank for that, because she's the one that got me to start trying it. And just listening to her, I kept practicing and kept doing it. But it was like fun the whole time, and just like she like unlocked a part of my brain that I didn't know was
Mm-hmm.
there. So it's hard to decide between her and Amy Winehouse. I would say one for brunch and one for dinner, but I was so close with my grandma, and I miss her every single
Hmm.
day. And there are so many things that I want to tell her about, that I would have to do dinner with her. It would have to be an epic, like hours
Mm-hmm.
long
Mm-hmm.
dinner, to just catch her up on everything that's been going on, and just to be with her again would be something that I could never take. I'm already getting
Mm,
emotional. I could never take that for granted. We were so
wow.
close and I loved her so much. I
Mm-hmm.
still do. I still think about her
Mm-hmm.
all the time. So she would definitely have to be my dinner
Mm-hmm.
date for sure.
That's a powerful answer. And thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that because I think,
Of course.
yeah, that question, oftentimes goes to the celebrities of the world, the historical figures and things like that.
Hmm.
You go to a place of, close to home. If it wasn't for your grandma, you wouldn't be here. I was actually just thinking about, I was literally at my parents' house yesterday, vibing out with my dad, next level musically. My dad used to be into DJing and his knowledge of music is vast, and I think that's kind of where I got like interested in music. And he's been sending me a ton, and I asked him to continue to do this whenever he's listening to a song that he's just vibing out to. A lot of the stuff he's kind of been sending has been like 80s, 90s, like funk music that at the time
Hmm.
hip hop DJs would use that music on a turntable and they like turn that into like hip hop and stuff. And so a lot of these songs
Uh,
I remember listening to as a kid, and man, he one of them he sent, and I don't think I've listened to it in the past 15, 20 years, and I was like, oh shoot, I was like, I need to send this song to my sister who lives in California as well, actually. And she's like a year and a half younger than me, and I was like, I know when I send this to her, I know that she hasn't heard this in the same amount of time, and I know she's gonna like it's gonna resonate with her deeply, and it did. She like called me right away. She said this was like the
oh,
most amazing way to start my day. She jumped out of bed, 3 hours early time difference, and just started dancing. So it was a really really sweet message.
oh, that's so
it
cute.
was it was really really nice. We've been so there's a thing that I have over there, and I'm going to relate it to the grandma story that you just mentioned. There's a thing I have over there. It's a speaker that is amazing. It's changing everything for me musically because it is a speaker, Bluetooth speaker that you can sort of slow down, speed up, loop, jump to different parts, and effectively like DJ and remix songs live. And there's really nothing else like
Cool.
it that's on the market now. And I'm having just the most immense amount of fun with it. And that's kind of why my dad, I was doing like a live set series on my YouTube channel, but there's like a little thing I'm figuring out in terms of like what is that called? Copyright stuff, like the songs I love doing, like
Uh-huh.
this copyright. So I have to like figure that stuff out. I can just do it like on
Hmm.
Instagram maybe for now, or just record it for my own fun. Um, but yeah, he's been sending me so many songs. So I went there yesterday and we were just vibing out. I let him use it for a little while, and we were just really
Hmm.
bonding. He's sharing stories with me about
Oh,
this particular song. He's like, yeah, me and my friends back in the day living in New York, like we would be looking for this exact album cover. One of the songs like it's called The Incredible Bongo Band. And it has like pictures of this guy's silver hands, like hitting a bongo. He's like, once you saw this, like you knew that this, he was like giving me all this like wealth of like just interesting stories and tidbits. Then I go into his room and I see like a picture of my grandparents when they were younger that he has like pinned on his desk. And I was just I had to take a picture of that, and I was just thinking of just like, man, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't. There's no way I would be here. There's 100% chance of If I didn't even say if it wasn't for them, I was like, if these two people didn't meet, then there's like 100% chance that I would not be here right now. And just like sitting there thinking
yeah, isn't
about
that
that for a second
crazy?
was so mind boggling. So that relates to like you and your relationship with your grandma. Like you find value in having that conversation with her right now more than anyone else for dinner, and that's extremely powerful, right? To think about that, and I mean, and it does make sense. You guys were that close, so that would be a special dinner for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, I'm that's so cool that you have that relationship in your family with your dad and with your sister where you guys can, just have such a powerful moments and bonding through music, your love of music. That's really cool that you have that in your family.
thank you very much. It's a new thing right now currently. That I mean, just today I was talking to him today, and he was just like, man, I have a. He said something like a musical genius or something, musical son or something like related to that. He was just so pumped up about it from yesterday, and I'm just like, man, I'm loving it just as much as you are. Like this, so I
Oh,
have like a really really long playlist now that's just ongoing, and I was thinking about like how valuable it is for me to know these, for him to be sending me these songs. It's like almost currency. It's like value in that this playlist is going to be like it's called OB4, which is the name of the speaker that I was referring to, but it's turning into just like dad's playlists. Like that's this is your this is your thing. So I'm loving it, and it's a awesome way for us to relate to each other. As I'm getting older and stuff, and just connecting with them on a deeper level.
Yeah, that's cool. I bet the playlist keeps growing.
I'm excited for it. Yes, 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 for sure.
That's cool.
Thank you very
That's
much.
really cool.
Yeah. So I had one more question I wanted to ask, and then we'll sort of get ready to wrap up because you have a stream going on tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Do you have?
Yes.
Okay. What time is your stream happen tonight?
Well, probably 6 p.m. Pacific because
Okay.
I'm going to my friend's house, my friend Cassie. I'm doing like kind of like a week of trying to meet up with my friends and have them on streams. So last
Oh.
night I streamed with my friend Nick, and tonight
Okay.
I'm going to my friend Cassie's. So when we wrap up here, I'll head over there and we'll get started as soon as things are set up.
Awesome. 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 That's good stuff. So to be honest with you, I was thinking about what I wanted the last question to be, but I'm just gonna kind of take a step back and just kind of share that how much I appreciate you taking the time out, how excited I was about the conversation, and I was telling my wife that so I've done 73 or 74 episodes of these conversations, and in my content creation journey, I have been sort of going back and forth with the idea of knowing that I enjoy these connections so much. Like you and I wouldn't be able to connect the way that we are right now if I only joined your streams or if I only interacted on social media and stuff. So I see like the
Mhm.
immense value in being able to do this and connect with people and have something that hopefully you and I will be able to look at this exact video years from now and kind of see where we were. Like you're like, oh, this is the time when I was about to go to so and so's place for the live stream. Like I think that's an amazing thing. So I'm super blessed and excited about continuing having this platform. Right now I've been kind of very interested in chatting with other musicians, specifically other streamers, to kind of just vibe out with them, connect with them, learn from them, and share their stories with other people. So I say that to say, like, there was a time when I was trying to think about like the amount of value of these types of videos versus ones on my YouTube channel that would certainly get more views, tutorials of how to do certain things on this keyboard or certain music tech, type videos and stuff that people are searching for. Um,
Mhm.
and I kind of like in knowing that this brings so much joy to me, being able to record these episodes and have like the little bit of like flutters before meeting someone, because I want
Mhm.
it to go well. I kind of fully expected, like, just from knowing you, I feel like I know you more than maybe makes sense in terms of the short amount of time that I've known you, but I felt like it was just going to be a vibe, like, and it certainly has been. So I just want I say all that to say, just like, definitely super appreciative of it, and love everything that you're doing. And I'm
Thank
excited.
you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm excited to see what comes next, and just know that you're just like a light, a beacon of light to like a lot of people in your community, for including me. From just the vibes that you put out there.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. I'm so glad that I met you this year, and thank you so much for having me on this show. Yeah, it's been really fun. I've really enjoyed chatting with you, and I feel like we hit it off right away as soon as we met. So I'm sure we'll be friends for a long time.
For sure. I definitely look forward to that. So I'm going to give you back the rest of your night. Before I'm going to like wrap up right now, and then I'm going to like hit the end button, and then I'm going to ask you not to sign out for like 30 seconds as it like continues going to the cloud, and then we'll like officially wrap, if that sounds good.
Oh, do you have one more question? Or are we?
Oh, this is going to be this. I was going to ask another question, but I wanted that to be like the finale, like the
Oh,
sort of
gotcha.
intimate kind of, thing situation there. So question wise, we're all
Okay.
set on that. And yeah, like I said, just excited about the future for you. I
Thank you.
will ask you, if you do you see yourself, 3 to 5 years from now, do you see yourself still streaming? Do you see streaming being still a major part of what it is that you do like several years from now?
I mean, I think so. I kind of, like I mentioned before, I'm kind of impulsive, and, a symptom of that is that I definitely live in the moment. And
Yeah.
I don't, people have asked me, what's your 5-year plan? Like, what are your goals from, doing music or whatever? And I'm like, I don't know, dude, I'm just vibing. Like I'm just having a good time, and like all of
Yeah.
this is turning out much better than I thought it would, and I really enjoy it. And it's like a focus for me right now. I don't know if it'll be a focus years from now. Maybe I'll be doing something else. Maybe, it would be, it's insane to think, but like maybe I'll have an album that I'll be touring with or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Sure.
But I think that like I love streaming and it's something that comes so naturally to me. And I just love like the live interaction with people from all over the globe is
Wild.
so wild. It's so wild and just ridiculously cool and just kind of new terrain
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the field that we're in. So it's just there's nothing quite like it, and I definitely want to keep doing it for forever. I mean, I've never thought about stopping.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'll have the same schedule years from now, but
Right.
it might be more of a sporadic thing, like we were talking about earlier. If I'm maybe am touring or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love doing it. I want to keep doing it, and I've never thought about stopping. So
That's awesome. We need you to continue doing it as well. So that's perfect. We're on the same page there. All right, my friend. So hope you have an awesome rest of your night. I have two more actually interviews today, which is interesting because usually I would do
oh
these like
wow,
once a week or once every other week, but this week I'm doing it a
uh-huh.
little differently. I booked out the whole day to have like a recording day and kind of bank these, which so far it's going very well. So I'm excited about that. I'll be reaching out to you. So I do like live premieres for these episodes now every Thursday at 3 p.m. So I'll be reaching out to you in the subsequent weeks, and we'll
Great.
schedule like a good Thursday, probably around Thanksgiving or after like Thanksgiving, like in a few weeks or something like that. And the live premiere is great because we can watch our conversation together from your phone on YouTube, and then we
Oh, that
can.
sounds so cool.
It's a great time. Yeah, yeah. Especially
Yeah,
people
that
like
sounds fun.
community kind of thing, chat with each other and answer
Hmm.
questions. So it'll be a good time. I very much look forward to it. And again, thank you so much for your time, and looking forward to all the other great things that you are destined for, my friend.
Oh man, that feeling is so mutual. And thank you so much for fitting me in today. I can't believe you're doing so many interviews, but I'm glad that I got to be one of them. So
Awesome, awesome. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. All right.
thanks.
All
You
right.
too.